All right, here we go. Is this episode 6, Har?
Yes, it is. Number 6.
Number 6 of the
Episode
OGs
6.
podcast
Yep.
presented by Parx Sports. See this? I'm looking again. Damn it. It won't stream to my personal Twitter handle. It's saying an error occurred on Twitter. This is usually temporary. Wait a moment, then try again. I've been trying for 4 fucking days.
Yeah, we don't have a moment.
Jesus. All right, now I got to take a moment here on the podcast, and I have to tweet out the YouTube link. We're on YouTube today.
Yeah. Oh, we are. So we're not playing any music?
Well, we might. If they kick us off, they kick us off.
No, you can't have that. Then the whole goddamn thing gets kicked off.
Is that right?
Yeah, the whole episode.
All right, then what I'll do is I'll unlink it for that portion of the podcast. I'm just going to retweet.
I don't even know how you do that. You're very technically savvy.
Yeah, well, apparently not that freaking savvy because I can't get this to work. I've emailed everybody under the sun.
Yeah.
And nothing's working. All right, it's working on yours, so I'm just going to retweet yours.
Okay.
And I'll heart it as well. Oh no, that's episode 1 that I retweeted. God damn it.
Yeah, that was the pinned tweet.
Yeah, you got the pinned tweet up there.
Well, what the fuck? I mean, now I'm getting ripped because I'm pinning tweets of ours.
Yeah, well,
yeah, okay.
You got to update that.
Well, then undo the fucking retweet.
I did.
All right.
But I didn't undo
that.
The heart.
You can undo. You can't edit your tweets if you make a mistake, or if you have like the iPhone autocorrects and you're saying gibberish and you want to like go back and fix it. You can't do that.
Yeah, because like on Twitter too, like you fire off responses in like machine gun fashion.
Yeah. Well, you do.
No, I don't anymore.
Good.
I'm done with it. I don't argue with people on there anymore.
You should see the editing process that happens at my house with a tweet.
Well,
I mean, there could be
5-step process.
Yeah, there really is. There's protocols that have to be adhered to, and you draft the tweet, you put it in the chamber, you consider the ramifications of, am I going to get fired? Am I going to piss this person off or whatever? And then all of a sudden it passes through. And then all of a sudden you're like, uh-oh, I got to look up this word because I don't want to misspell something, because then some dope is going to get on me for not having something spelled right. And they don't really do a good job of like a spell check kind of thing with Twitter. So I got to go to I got to get out of that, go to the internet, make sure I'm spelling everything correctly. And then boom, they fire it off. And it's probably 20 minutes since the moment has passed till the tweet actually gets out there.
And the emotion of the tweet has been removed.
It's gone.
That's part of the protocol, right?
It's gone. Yeah, the emotion is gone. And then I have to go back in and consider being Shander and saying, well, how many people actually saw this tweet? And if not enough people saw the tweet, then I'm going to yell at Twitter and saying, you all are fools for being on here thinking this is a legit website.
Why does he bitch about Twitter silencing him?
I have no idea.
Twitter.
I don't know. You think he'd have another modality somewhere else to go to vent his frustrations about Twitter? Because if you're just doing it on Twitter and claiming nobody sees it, how is anybody going to see you bitching about it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you're trying to expose a conspiracy,
right,
you don't try and expose it on the platform you're trying to expose. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. And you and I are probably his 2 biggest fans in the world. Yeah. I don't know if he realizes that. Yeah. But I'm trying to figure it out, and my brain gets twisted up.
I with him, I've had shaken baby syndrome. I've shaken him too many times. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
I never shook a baby.
No.
I don't. I get weird around babies. Like, I don't even like to touch them.
Really? Is that right?
I'm weird. Like, you ever notice like if you're at somebody's place and they got a new baby, like your wife would be the first one over there, or my wife would be to hold the baby and put the baby over the shoulder. Yeah. Oh, you're so adorable. But it's the same old routine where I'm like 30 yards away.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to
hold the baby, Harry?
No, I don't want to hold the baby. I'll just say hello from over here. He's not going to remember it.
So if you have a newborn and you run into Harry at like anywhere, do not ask Harry to hold the baby.
No, I'm going to refuse.
Yeah, and then you feel like a dick.
Well,
I don't want to hold your baby.
I actually don't. Yeah, I got over that kind of feeling long time ago. Like, look, no,
When
I'm
you
not
were a baby.
right, exactly. No, I'm not a dick. I'm just being very honest. Most people probably don't want to hold your baby, but they do it out of obligation to you. I have removed that from my life.
Yeah.
You see,
There,
yeah,
this societal thing to have to hold someone else's baby,
yeah,
it's bullshit.
right. Societal pressures really don't work on me.
No, they don't.
They really don't.
Now, has this process for putting out a tweet in your household, has this been collectively bargained, Har?
Yeah, it actually was. Yeah, and the contract, the agreement is up in a few months, so we're gonna have to redo it.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
there's another collective
Oh.
bargain. So the end of the term is coming.
Yeah, but I don't know how these people sit in front of, like, let's say they're watching that game last night, Georgia and Alabama, like I was, and I'm looking a little bit at Twitter, and people are firing off tweets left and I don't even know how you're watching the goddamn game.
They're not.
And I'm like, really? Is this what you do? Like, this is your fun, is to just fire off your opinion? Oh, this quarterback sucks. He makes one bad throw, and everybody thinks Stetson Bennett stinks. And it's just like, I don't know how that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, just watch the game.
That's replaced hanging out at the actual bar with people and talking about the game as it's happening. Now we'll just tweet about it into a vacuum.
Right, into the abyss.
Yeah.
Yeah, where nobody sees it anyway.
Yeah, and there's no tonality. There's no intent or sarcasm. You don't
Right.
know. And it's these definitive statements.
Mhm.
The Eagles on the first drive, they don't run the ball. They never run the ball. They're going nowhere. They
Right.
suck.
Sirianni is the worst.
Yeah. By the end of the game, they've run the ball 68% of the time.
Right.
And that tweet looks like an idiotic tweet.
Right. Now, do you go back and take those off of your timeline? Because I
No.
probably would.
I just wouldn't put it up.
Well, right. I try not to. Yeah.
Don't you love those assholes? You put out a tweet and be like during an Eagle game, where I'll put out during a Flyers game, oh, the Flyers up 2-0. They're in on their forecheck. They're controlling this game in the first period. Then the second and third period, they shit the bed.
Right.
And somebody tweets me back and goes, oh, good analysis.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, look at the time, you prick.
Right.
At
the time, they were kicking ass.
Yes.
Right.
God.
Oh, I know. It's annoying.
I got my paint tool here, and I can't stop messing with it.
What do you mean your paint tool?
It's like it's a paint tool. Like it's a knife that comes out, but it's like there to open a can. It's got an edge.
Yeah. You can open up a can on that thing, huh?
Yeah. I opened up a can of Copenhagen with it too. That's why it's in here.
I'm sure.
I got a fresh uncracked can right here. I go like that, and it's curved.
Right.
It fits around the can perfect in case I don't have the fingernail
and
to get in there.
It cuts the paper that's stuck around there. Yeah.
Which exactly right.
Yeah.
It comes through, and then you go like that. You get it nice and loose. You pack it.
You got to pack it.
And you open it up like, oh shit!
Those Copenhagen tins are packed up they're almost like wet pancakes.
Yeah, they're great.
They're so the skull isn't like that.
No,
the skull's a little looser.
Yeah, and I packed the skull, and there's like an empty chamber of air in there. And I'm going, see, that's why I switched from skull to Copenhagen.
Yeah, well, Copenhagen's a little rougher. That's for big boys.
Yeah.
I never really quite graduated to that.
It's like the although you would bum one off me from time to time.
Yeah, and then I'd regret it 2 seconds later after I put it in.
As your head's spinning.
Yeah, as my head's spinning, and I still got to do 45 minutes of radio.
Yeah.
And we're in the 4th hour of a 4-hour show, and you are long since shot.
Yeah, yes.
1 o'clock was your limit.
Fidget spinners flying.
Oh yeah.
Where is that? I have that in here somewhere. I brought it up the other day. Now I can't find the damn thing.
Yeah. How many of those have you gone through since back in the radio show days?
I haven't gotten any new ones. I've had the same one, that silver one, the silver heavy. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. That was a nice item. Actually, it looked like a quality, piece of metal.
Ah, damn it! I knocked my guitar over.
Which one?
Acoustic.
Oh.
Yeah, my it is. There it is. See that? It's got.
Oh yeah.
Barely hear it. It's got good. It's all ball bearings.
Right.
Still going. Thing's great. Let's tell people about the sponsor, because we forgot to do that right out of the hop. Are we on? Did we start?
Yeah,
yet?
we're on. I think we're on. I hope so. I just blew out my good stuff. I'm done for the rest of the show. Jesus.
Parx Sportsbook presents the Odd G's podcast. Harry Mays, Jason Myrtetus. Make sure you open up an account. You don't need a promo required. Just open up an account, and new customers, you'll get that $500 risk-free bet on your first bet. If it loses up to $500, you're golden. You get it back.
Right. You don't even need a code, right?
No promo code
Right.
required.
No code needed.
It just
And
says,
then they got the
just
same
deposit.
game parlays. So like last night, if you went in game and you went under and you took Georgia and the under, you cashed on a lot of different wagers last night as that game started to get a little crazy in the fourth quarter. But this weekend, this is wild card weekend, man. This is big. We got 6 games, Jason. The Eagles, of course, play on Sunday at 1:00, but there's 2 games on Saturday. And I actually like the Sunday games.
You don't
The
like anything on
Niners
Saturday yet?
No, not really. Nothing's really jumping out at me with those Saturday games. I want to watch both of them because I love watching Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals team.
Yeah.
Taking on the upstart Raiders. That's the way it's going to kick off. And then the Patriots and Bills on Saturday night, which could be a good one. Going to be very cold probably up there for that in Buffalo. Maybe there'll be some snow.
Yeah.
That would be good for the aesthetics. But Sunday, the Eagles are at 1, but I like the Niners game at Dallas. I'm taking San Francisco plus the 3. I don't like what I see from Dallas down the stretch. The exact opposite is what I believe in about the 49ers. I think they're hitting their stride. And I'm also going to take the Kansas City Chiefs in a blowout Sunday night against the Steelers. Big Ben has been fighting off the retirement and father time for a couple of weeks now, and he got him into the playoffs, but this is where it ends. And I think they're going to go down in a fiery car wreck. I think it's going to be pretty ugly.
Wow.
Kansas City at home.
You think that's it for Big Ben?
Oh, he's done. Yeah, he's done. He knows
He's
it.
cooked?
Yeah, he is.
He's been around forever.
Dude, on that Monday night game a week or two ago against Cleveland, he had 130 yards passing with like 40 attempts. Like his yards
That's
per
impossible.
attempt is anemic. Like he just can't get the ball down the field anymore.
Yeah, he's been around so long. He's taken such a beating.
Yeah.
Big dude and everything.
Great career, Hall of Fame, the whole deal, but it's over.
Yeah. You know who he looks like? He looks like Will Ferrell.
Ah.
You ever see that?
Like if Farrell grew the beard in or something? Yeah. I can
they
see
look
that.
alike.
Yeah.
I don't know why I've always thought that.
Yeah.
So get on the Parx app, get those Parx lines, get your bets in, and again, your new customers get a $500 risk-free bet on your first bet. And again, no promo required. Just deposit, open an account, and you're good to go. If you lose, you'll get up to $500 back. And follow Parx on the social media channels at Parx Sportsbook on Twitter, where we are streaming on that Twitter handle, not my personal one. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, all there as well. Get daily specials, great features, and great content there.
Do you think you got some sort of a virus or something in your Twitter doing all this hockey stuff?
You think that's what it is?
I don't know.
I postponed my Twitter account.
Right. I mean, because the games have COVID. Maybe your Twitter feed has COVID.
Apparently,
the Omicron.
You might be onto something. I've been infected with the Omicron tweet.
Yeah. Now the Flyers' latest game against the Hurricane was canceled, right?
Yeah, it was scheduled for tonight, Har.
Okay, so
and they have players coming off of COVID protocol. Not really. They have one going in. That's Ristolainen, apparently. But they canceled it last night at 10 o'clock at night. Now, Carolina's already in town. I'm sure they're like pissed because they got here yesterday.
Right.
But they canceled the game, and you go, well, wait a minute. Last week they had 9 players not available in that Thursday night game against the Penguins where they got shit kicked 6-2.
They got smoked.
Yeah. And they didn't postpone that game. Now, we all know why. ESPN had the game on ESPN Plus. So it wasn't broadcast on television over broadcast anywhere. It was only streaming. Everybody goes, well, why put a game like Flyers Penguins on a streaming only platform? That's the one that everybody wants to see.
Right.
And that's exactly
why. That's the point.
Yes.
So you get the streaming service, which I did, by the way. I've signed up for ESPN Plus.
It's good.
In January. Yeah, it is. But the reason I did is because the PGA Tour Live is now a part of it.
Yep.
So you get all the golf and plus all the hockey that aren't, like that hockey game you would have gotten, all the college basketball. Like my team, the Temple Owls, aren't that good anymore. So they're not on TV all that often anymore. They're always on the Plus. So if I want to watch them, I got to have it. So it's $6.95 a month.
Yeah. And like you said, you get, it's not just hockey. It's not the center ice package.
No.
You get all the stuff that they put out on ESPN Plus. Like college football would be good,
Right.
especially
Yep.
for gambling and everything.
Yep. Like the Man in the Arena, the Tom Brady documentary is on there. I watched episode 1 yesterday. That was really good. And all the beyond the paywall stuff on the website, then you have access to.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, like if McShay puts out his mock draft 2.0, which I think is the next one to come out, you have access to that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I'll have to
Yeah.
re-log in then on my
Right.
computer to be able to do that. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Real quick too, we're gonna get to some what would Harry do's in this question.
Yeah.
Bringing that back. That's an old radio gag.
We
that
are?
did. Yeah, we are. WWHD, Harry.
I saw some of the entrants or the suggestions, and I noticed there's a theme right out of the gate.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, oh yeah. Have you not looked at the questions?
No.
Oh,
I like to
it's
do
like
it live.
basically the same question from 5 different people.
Oh, just putting you to the test to test your marriage and golf, probably.
Exactly. Yeah. Basically, it's like porn and versus golf, or yeah, exactly.
Versus the Lima.
Yeah, right.
And we're also going to get to, Barstool put out this list. Let's talk about this now, Harry.
Yeah.
Because Barstool put out this list of the top 10, singers of all time?
Top 10 male singers of all time. I saw this on their Twitter feed yesterday. And obviously, when you do lists, I don't do lists. I just critique other lists.
Yeah.
But when you do this, you're going to put 1 or 2, in this case, 3 donkey names in here just to get people outraged. You have to have outrage, or there really is no There really is no point in putting a list out that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
now, it is the top 10 male singers of all time.
Correct. Yes.
Like I there's somebody on the list that I don't even know who the person is.
Well, there's actually 3 of those names.
3
for me.
Let me guess. Jesse McCartney.
Correct.
Ryan Cabrera.
Correct.
And Chase Hudson.
Correct. I never heard of any of those guys.
Me neither. Ryan Cabrera, I'm kind of looking at, I'm trying to figure, who is he?
I think he's a middle reliever for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Right. That is the baseball name.
Yeah, I think he's a right-hander. He's got a good slider.
He's an American too.
Oh, he is?
An American musician, and he began his career as a lead singer for the Dallas band Rubik's Groove.
Right. Never heard of them.
I have no idea.
No
idea who he is.
Yeah.
So I don't even know why you'd put that name on. Adam Lambert was a guy that was on American Idol. He's on the list.
Well, yeah. Now he was the guy that was made famous for touring with Queen.
Yeah, he took over kind of Freddie Mercury's role. He's very theatrical. He's a good singer.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, a very powerful voice with a lot of range.
Seriously going to put him ahead of Stevie Wonder?
Well, here's the thing. They put him in there as opposed to Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, that's an outrage.
I mean, come on. Seriously.
Who made this list?
And Bob Dylan, with all due respect, I'm a huge Bob Dylan fan and recognize his importance in music in general. Okay. He doesn't belong anywhere near a top 10 list when it comes to singing.
Yeah. He's songwriter. Yes.
Phenomenal.
Singing. No.
Right.
I put a list together and I really struggled with Neil Young.
Well, Neil Young is sort of like Dylan and
exactly.
sort of like Springsteen. They can't sing. None of those guys can sing.
They're not. They're great songwriters and vocalists, but not a great singer.
Correct. There's a difference.
So here's the list that was put out by Barstool. It says rankings were generated by data obtained by ULL. I don't know what that is. But they had Bob Dylan 10, the aforementioned Chase Hudson 9, Stevie Wonder at 8, Ryan Cabrera at 7, Adam Lambert at 6, and your top 5: Otis Redding, which I don't have a problem with.
No, I don't either.
Frank Sinatra. Okay. It's standards and crooning, but not for me. But anyway, Jesse McCartney, Michael Jackson at 2, and Elvis Presley at 1.
Yeah.
I don't have any of these guys in my list. I will say that Stevie Wonder made my honorable mention outside the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, none of these made it for me.
Elvis didn't make your top 10?
No, it just wasn't. It's not something that I liked. So look, these lists are very subjective. So my list is obviously subjective and leans towards what I like. But,
right. Well, let's hear your list then. Forget about Barstool.
All right, so my list, my top 10, these are in no particular order, although I'll give you the top 3 are in a particular order. My number 1 was Robert Plant.
Okay.
So that's my I think the greatest rock singer of all time.
Okay.
Like, I don't have Mick Jagger in my list. I'm not a big
Really?
Stones guy. No.
Mm,
To me, he's a great
interesting.
performer. He's a solid singer, but I don't have him in my list.
Hmm.
Number 2 in my list is actually Chris Cornell.
Oh yeah, loved him. I've saw him many times. Phenomenal vocalist,
Oh,
actually.
he
Yeah.
can blow. I mean,
Audio
unbelievable.
Slave. Yeah,
Yep.
all that stuff that he did.
Soundgarden.
Yep.
And number 3 for me is Jim Morrison.
Ah,
Some people would say that's a bit high for Morrison, but to me, he was the harbinger of hard rock and heavy metal as a
yeah.
singer.
Yeah.
And to me, I just love his, the way his phrasing, everything
Well,
about
yeah.
the way he sang.
He was a great poet and
Yeah.
was also he had a great delivery.
Yeah.
And even if you could sort of block out looking at him performing, which he was like, he was one of those guys where you couldn't take your eyes off of him
Yeah.
if he was on the stage. But even if you disregard that, like the way he sang, and he had all the skill.
Yeah.
And I don't think he gets credit really for that skill
I agree with you.
as much as he does his writing and his
Mhm.
crazy zany behavior.
Well, as a top, he's one of the top performers, lead man performers, like with Mick Jagger.
Right.
Excuse me. Oh, I'm going to mute.
Put Bowie in there as one of those performers, right?
Yeah, and I would put Scott Weiland in there from Stone Temple Pilots.
Many saw him about 8 times. He's captivating. Yeah.
Yeah. But my next one on the list, and now they're not in a particular order, was Bowie.
Okay.
So I do I'm not a huge Bowie fan.
No?
But I do recognize the
Not a Bozeman Bo?
No, David Bowie. Ozzy I have in there.
What?
He's a great vocalist, Harry.
Oh my God.
He is a great vocal. Listen to the recordings of him from, in the early 80s when he went solo, even prior to that with with Black Sabbath. He's tremendous. He's a great singer, and he's a great frontman.
Yeah, he's a great frontman, no doubt about it. Even when he was fat. Remember how he'd be like fat and sweaty, and he'd put those spandex pants on, and his gut was like hanging over the sides of the pants. He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, and
he didn't care.
He didn't care at all. And he'd take the shirt off, and
he's all sweaty. He's got the hair with had the dyed sort of like what they call that, frosted hair.
Yeah,
and the eye makeup and the lashes and the whole deal. He's just this big sweaty guy with makeup. It was hilarious.
Yeah. I remember I was when Pantera was in town in 99 or 2000, I want to say, at Ozfest. And I was pretty tight with the guys from Pantera. So I was hanging out backstage with them, and we're standing in the hallway, and I'm standing there with Vinnie Paul, who's the drummer of Pantera, and Ozzy comes walking by.
Yeah.
With like his manager. I forget the guy's name. Damn it. Tony, little English guy. And he comes walking by, and it's almost like he's got him on a leash. And Ozzy's just getting ready to go out. Mm-hmm. And he's like walking by, and his eyes are real big, and he's got the eye makeup on.
Right. He's sort of getting in character, right?
He was like oblivious, like they were pulling him around to perform, like
Sharon.
But I think he's great. I put Lennon and McCartney together because it's tough to split. Great songwriters, both are great vocalists as well.
Yeah, yes,
but very different.
Very different. Yeah,
I have Freddie Mercury in the list.
I always preferred Paul.
Did you?
John, for some reason. I recognize John's greatness, but I was always more drawn to the McCartney tune, like the way he would write a song, a little bit more catchy. I always liked Wings. You'd always have these different parts to songs, like 3 or 4 different parts.
Yep.
Where the whole time signature and everything would change, and like Band on the Run, let's say, or Admiral Halsey. There were different parts. I always gravitated towards him.
Yeah, Lennon was more straightforward rock, and McCartney was more like these weird phrasings and stuff like that, like the Long and Winding Road and stuff like that. Very bizarre.
Yeah.
After that, I had Freddie Mercury in there, obviously.
Yeah.
I have a Bob Marley.
Oh yeah,
I put into a top 10. Yeah.
Huh.
I put him in there, and then
that Legend record you got to have it in your collection.
So good, Harry.
You got to have it. Every song's great.
Yep. And then I don't know how many that was. I think that was about 8, but I had the other ones I just had James Hetfield, Axl Rose, Eddie Vedder, Bono, Daltrey, Cobain, Steven Tyler.
Mm.
And then I added these other ones after.
So you basically listed everybody that's in the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Well, I have a couple. Well, this guy's in the Hall of Fame, but Art Garfunkel.
Oh yeah,
Great
dude,
singer.
Bridge Over Troubled Water. I
Yeah.
mean, just listen to him sing. That'll give you chills.
Yeah, try singing it yourself.
Right,
Like,
right.
It's
right.
impossible.
Yeah.
Lane Staley is a guy I'm a big fan of from Alice in Chains.
Right.
And I put Cat Stevens in there as an honorable mention. I loved Cat Stevens.
That's interesting.
Very unique voice.
Little T for the Tillerman, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I love The Wind.
That? Yeah.
Or Father and Son. He was a good songwriter.
Yeah, like that Garfunkel. Let's get back to him. He didn't play an instrument.
No.
He would just go out there on a stool and sit on the stool next to Simon, who's, he's got the long fingernails and he's playing all the guitar parts and singing it too. And Garfunkel would just hang out there with a big scarf on and maybe like some corduroy jacket and just sing the background and the harmonies.
Yep. But like so good, flawless. I don't know. Like you sent me the one thing a while back of the isolated tracks of Layla.
Yes.
Clapton. Like and you asshole, you sent me down a rabbit hole with that. Cause then I'm like, oh, what other isolated tracks would I love to hear? Right.
Yeah.
And you can get isolated vocal tracks too.
Right.
And I came across one of his isolated vocal tracks. I think it was For Emily, Wherever I May Find Her. It was like so perfect. So, and then I did a top 5 female rock singer list, Harry.
Look at you.
I think you'll like this.
Is Lita Ford on the list?
She did not make the list, Harry.
Damn.
Kiss Me Deadly.
Yes. What about Joan Jett?
She did not make the list either. From the Runaways, of course, prior to her solo career. But Ann Wilson did make the list.
Yeah.
She can absolutely sing like insane. She's incredible. Tina Turner made the list.
Saw her live once.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah, at the Mann Music Center.
Wow.
Early 90s. It was phenomenal.
She had great stems. Harry.
Great wheels.
Legs.
Yeah, exactly right. Sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Janice Joplin is on the list, although I was not a huge fan.
Okay.
She smelled like an ashtray. I can just imagine.
I'm sure. Yeah, and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Stevie Nicks is on the list.
Oh, very unique voice.
And how about this one, Harry? This is the last one. Chrissie Hynde from the Pretenders.
There's one from the Wow. How about that?
Little Brass in Pocket.
Little Pretenders. I love it. Yeah.
That's a good list, right?
Yeah, it is a good list.
Yeah. So
now she was from Ohio.
Is that right?
Chrissie Hynde, but then moved to like London, I think, when she was a kid and like became kind of English.
What?
You know what I mean? Yeah, she
was Londonified.
She was Londonized or whatever. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now we're getting some action on the stream here. You see this?
Yeah.
Renee Cruz is checking in with a bunch of ideas that I think would appeal to you. A little Megadeth in there.
Well, yeah. I mean, Dave Mustaine is the singer of Megadeth. I mean, he is Megadeth, but no, he would not.
Sacrilege. You know, Sacrilege?
No.
Yeah. Jimmy Blues says George Harrison was the best Beatle. Well, that's opinion. Okay. George was great.
He was great, but
he was great.
He was not the primary songwriter in that. He wrote some of the best songs.
He did.
I mean, While My Guitar Gently Weeps is now, you know who was on the solo on that? The only
Eric Clapton.
Yeah, the only guest musician that they ever credited was
Is that right?
For on the actual album track is Eric Clapton.
Did they credit Billy Preston for his parts? Because he was known as sort of the fifth Beatle.
Yeah, because he was in those Get Back sessions.
Yeah.
And I think they credited him.
Okay.
But I don't think there's some accreditation that Clapton got that nobody else ever got. But he was obviously a really close friend of George Harrison.
Sure.
So much so that he took his wife.
Well, yeah, they shared ladies.
Yes.
Yeah. That was back in the day when that was not frowned upon. Yeah.
So I learned that on that Eric Clapton documentary. I think it was on Showtime, which is a really good one. So
that's what Layla and Assorted Love Songs was written about for her.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah. So, great stuff. And it sends you down like a YouTube rabbit hole to listen to all this shit.
Yeah. And on a freezing cold day where it feels like Green Bay outside, you might as well go down a rabbit hole today.
Yeah, absolutely. They said, I saw this on like 6ABC tweeted it out and said that today was going to be the coldest day in 3 years
Yeah, I believe it.
because of the wind chill.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up early today in anticipation of it being the coldest day in 3 years to celebrate it.
Right. You love this stuff.
Yeah, I love the cold.
Yeah.
I was like all pumped up to get out and walk the dog, and it wasn't that. It didn't feel that cold yet.
Oh yeah.
Maybe the coldest elements of today are going to come a little later.
Well, I had to put the trash and the recycling out this morning at like 5:30. It was freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You didn't have me there to pick you up and bring in the trash cans.
Yeah. If you would have tried to pee in my driveway, it might have frozen before it hit the ground.
Yeah, we would have made an ODR, Har.
Yeah.
That's called an outdoor rink.
Is that what it is?
Yes. That's the ODR.
ODR.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
outdoor
All right.
rink.
Outdoor rink.
I'm hoping that it stays this cold for a couple or 3 days, so we can, so I can get out on the pond with my son.
Oh yeah, like
You
an
don't get that
actual
often.
pond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and go, skate around a little bit. There's a couple ponds around here where we could go to that should be close to frozen enough now where we can get out there and have a skate.
Yeah.
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 I'd love that.
Don't fall in.
By the way, yesterday too, Har.
Mm-hmm.
23 years ago yesterday. Do you know what that was?
23 years ago, so 1998.
99.
99. Okay. 99. No.
It was the debut of The Sopranos on HBO.
Is that right?
The
Boy,
pilot.
that long ago.
23 years ago
Wow.
was the debut of The Sopranos yesterday.
Jeez.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. Because I didn't get into it until years later. Like, I remember.
Well, when you and I were doing the show.
Well, yeah, right. I never went back and watched it until I destroyed my ankle.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched it from the beginning, every episode. It was phenomenal. But I almost felt like I saw the show just listening to you and Mikey Miss talk about it every day.
Yeah.
I almost feel like I saw it.
Yeah. Well, then you ended up watching it. And I mean, you were pounding out 2-3 episodes a day.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah. Because you go home and you get set up in the chair.
Right.
And the Lima would have the sandwich there ready for you.
Yeah. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
Nothing else I could do.
So you'd set up shop in the chair with your pen.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd pound out 3 or 4 episodes a day.
Yeah.
You knocked it out in about a good 5 or 6 weeks. I mean, you're talking about like 6 seasons.
I was off my feet for about 3.5 months. And in that amount of time, I easily knocked it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That's a long time.
Yeah. A great show.
Now, were you there from episode 1 when it aired? No. When did you get into it?
I got in season 3. I was working at YSP at the time. And there was a guy I worked with there. And he's still there, I think, Andrew Swank. He was a producer actually for DeBella. And then he was also, he became like the IT guy. He runs Eagles games. He was the operator for Eagles games. Merrill would say, I like to thank Andrew Swank. He's
not associated with the Swank magazine empire, is he?
No.
Okay.
No,
different Swanks.
I'm sure he wishes he was, but
okay.
So he had VHS tapes of it. And I was living in Old City at the time. I remember going, let me give this show a shot because it was season 3, like 4 episodes in. So I went back and I started watching season 1 off these VHS tapes that he had.
Right.
And got into it and then eventually caught up and probably joined it around like episode 8 of season 3.
Now, was Mikey Miss already involved in it? Was he there from day 1? Do you remember?
I don't know. I was not in communique with Mikey Miss at that time. I don't even know if Mikey Miss and I would. Well, yeah, I was already at WIP, so we probably were in communique, but I don't recall. It wasn't like the cultural phenomena that it became.
Right.
Yet.
Right.
So, but it obviously did. And it was, to me, it's the greatest show of all time because once you realize that it's actually a comedy, that's when it clicks.
Yeah.
It's a great show. I love it.
It really is.
Real quick too, before we get to some what would Harry do's, did you see this thing going around on social media of Bob Clark talking about the Hextall years?
No.
He eviscerated him, Harry.
Clarky?
I'm really surprised that he did it because Clarky's somebody that usually doesn't do shit like that publicly. I'm gonna play this. Let me move this over here. And I'm gonna play this here on the pod.
So Clarky torched Hexy.
Yeah, he did, and I'm
Jesus.
surprised. I'm really surprised that he did it again. For him to do that publicly is
Mhm.
really out of character.
Yeah.
I think maybe it speaks to how frustrated he may be. So there's a podcast called the Cam and Strick podcast.
Cam and Strick.
Yeah, and that's
Mm.
Andy Strickland's podcast from out in St. Louis, and Ron Hextall talking about the drafting of Nolan Patrick
Mhm.
and kind of the frustrations of where the organization is right now. So let me see here. Who tweeted that out? God, where is it at? I'm trying to find it here. Hold on a second. It should be right here. Damn it. Here it is. All right, let me hit share. All right, I'll play this.
He alienated everybody right away. He shut his door. He locked the doors. He was boss, and nobody else was part of it. We end up drafting. We get the second pick in the draft, and we end up drafting Nolan Patrick. None of our scouts wanted Nolan Patrick.
Scoots.
It wasn't. I mean, I don't know where Patrick should have gone after his performances in Brandon. He's a pretty good player, but he certainly. They wanted Makar. Of course, he went next. No, he's a superstar, and Patrick hasn't played number. But Hextall made that choice himself. And there were other choices that were made in our drafts that we're paying for. You know, we've got 2 or 3 first-round picks that are never going to play. And that's why we're struggling. Hexy made some huge mistakes. And
hey, he gave the Blues Braden Shen too, you know. So I mean, you know, so
that was just as bad.
You know,
nobody knew it. Hexy made that on his own. All our scouts, it was at the draft. Our scouts were so mad at Hexy for doing that. We also had a chance to get O'Reilly from Buffalo, but we didn't. Obviously, that was the manager's decision, but it was another one that the scouts weren't consulted on.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
You went
I'm
all in.
Stunned. Yeah.
Wow. Just think the Flyers could have had Makar. That's guys for the Avalanche, right? He's a stud.
Unbelievable. Clarky, I think he may be mixing up names a little bit here, first and foremost. First of all, Makar did not go right after Nolan Patrick. It was Miro Heiskanen that did, the Finnish defenseman that plays for Dallas, who's really good too. And then Makar went fourth to the Avalanche.
But he was saying the scouts wanted Makar, he said.
Yeah, from everything that I had kind of heard prior to that, it was that the scouts did not want Makar, that they wanted Heiskanen. That was the player they were hung up on.
Oh.
But that Hexy decided to go and grab Nolan Patrick. Of course, Nolan Patrick played for the Brandon Wheat Kings, where Hexy played his junior hockey in the WHL. But because Makar was playing just junior A at that time. So there was a little bit of risk there, and he was going to go the collegiate route. And but boy, what a pick that Colorado gets.
Yeah, he was 4th pick overall in 2017.
Yeah, and it was Heiskanen was 3rd, right?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at Makar's bio here.
Yeah, it was Hischier, Patrick, Heiskanen, Makar, then to Colorado, and then I think Elias Pettersson went 5th.
Oh, Hischier went to the Devils, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Pettersson went 5th to Vancouver, and I think Cody Glass was in there as well. I think that was the Vegas pick at 6 because they did not.
The bottom line is the Flyers blew it, and it's all Hexy's fault.
Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
is now like you're pinning a lot onto the former general manager, and I'm not saying he's wrong,
right?
But I mean, shit. Really surprised that Hextall went public that Clark went public like that. I mean, he made a lot of mistakes. That's why we are where we are.
He must just be at that point where he just doesn't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, he does.
Like, I'm just out with it.
I called to interview him. This is probably like a year ago now. I call him up. I'm at this radio station still in the back studio, and I call up and I get him on the phone. He answers, "Hello." I go, "Hey, Bob, it's Jason. How you doing?" "Oh, just hanging out here in Flin Flon."
Flin Flon.
Manitoba.
Yes.
Just
awesome.
Hanging out here in Flin Flon.
What do you do in Flin Flon hanging out? You just drink?
Probably, yeah.
Is that it? Like it's probably like it is today, every like 6 months a year in Flin Flon.
6 months or like 9 months.
My God, I don't know how you do it.
Yeah, like April 30th is today, Har. A warm day in Flin Flon.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was really taken back by it. I was like, wow, look at this, man. Clarky just
he unloaded the clip on Hexy.
Yeah, and usually you don't unload the clip on another guy, another former player. I was really shocked.
Where is Hextall now?
He's the GM in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, okay.
Maybe that's why he unloaded the clip.
Maybe. Yeah. Was this like moments after the Penguins housed the Flyers last week?
I think it was. They just put this out today, so it must have been this week.
Okay.
But he talked about Ryan O'Reilly, and I remember I reported at the time. I talked to Hextall, and he was the GM of the Worlds that in 2017. The World Championships, and Ryan O'Reilly was still a member of the Buffalo Sabres at the time. And Hextall, to me, off the air, was raving about him. He loved him. And I put out, don't be surprised if the Flyers try and get him out of Buffalo. And then eventually some reports that surfaced. They were one of the teams. He ended up going to St. Louis. We know what happened. He won the Cup. But he loved Ryan O'Reilly. But again, Flyers didn't get him. So who the hell knows what they're going to do now? It's a mess, though.
This is way too much hockey talk. I think we've exhausted the hockey minute.
Yeah, let's get to what would Harry do? All right.
I just hope. I just
your
wish
head
the
is spinning.
Questions were better.
They're not that good.
I'm just disappointed. It's just, it's just they go right to that sort of that low hanging fruit. The salacious, cheap route.
Yeah, these are what these are. They're designed for you to help people with their dilemmas.
Yeah,
to simplify, because you're a simple man. You cut through all the bullshit.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do.
Now, Kevin Kincaid is watching, and he tweeted in that you need to move to your left so he can see the dime big axe. There you go. There it is.
That's signed too, Kev.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I love how you have it right kind of underneath the Bernie mask.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah, here's the dime big. Yeah, it's a beautiful guitar. There's one missing in the middle here. And
where is that? It fell?
It's over here on the floor. I was playing earlier. My Ibanez.
Oh, that's acoustic. The acoustic. Okay.
Yeah. This thing right here. Right. Tuned a half step down too right now.
Oh yeah? Why is that? What were you
just for certain tonalities.
Uh-huh. Wow.
That one's a half step down. My other acoustics and standard. So, but anyway, let's get to these. Let's get to some of these. What would Harry do? I'm going to start with this one with a good buddy of mine, Stagger Lee.
Stagger Lee.
Stagger.
That's a good Led Zeppelin or Grateful Dead song, isn't it?
Yes, he's a hippie.
Yeah.
I grew up playing hockey with him and his brother.
Oh, all right. So you know this guy.
Yep, it's Ed Ritty. His dad actually started the hockey program at Malvern Prep in the 70s.
Oh, wow.
Big Ed Ritty, yeah. Here's his, what would Harry do? He says, going out to play a few holes. This is actually a good one, Harry. Going out to play a few holes before your wife's birthday celebration. You get a hole in one. For it to be official, you have to complete at least 9 holes. Do you keep playing and miss the celebration? Or do you leave early and not take credit for the hole in one?
No, you absolutely keep playing. In fact, not only do you play 9, you play 18. Okay. The wife will have another birthday celebration, but you might never have another hole in one.
Yeah.
That's an easy one to me.
Do you make the phone call to the wife?
Yeah.
And say, I got a hole in one.
Right.
Join me, because I have to buy drinks now too.
Right. They're on me. It's on my tab. So yeah. You might want to bring a couple of the ladies over.
Yeah.
And they can all have a little cocktail on my hole in one tab.
Yeah. And so you pick up the birthday celebration early. That becomes now pregame to the birthday celebration.
And you play all 18. So by the time you're done with the 18, they've already imbibed a little and they're a little loose, a little friendlier.
I love it.
Yeah. So that's a good one.
That's a good answer too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So Dan Schwartz said, what would Harry do? Play at Pebble Beach with any one person or attend an Eagles winning Super Bowl? Oh, Harry. What would Harry do? Now, you're going to play at Pebble Beach with who would be the dream golf partner first?
Oh, God.
Jim Nance, so he can narrate?
Jim Nance lives there.
Exactly.
So
You
yeah,
could
we
walk
could
up
go
and get a
over to we
sandwich.
could go over to his place afterwards for some after dinner drinks.
He's got the little chip and green there
He
too. The
does
yard.
right behind his house. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nance would probably have to be a part of it. Boy, would you put his partner Tony Romo in there because he's good. He's a good player,
Yeah.
but he's a cowboy. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like to. I wouldn't mind playing with Romo though. I think he's pretty cool.
Who would
actually.
be the golf pro that you'd want to play with?
Guy on the tour?
Yeah, either on the tour now
Mickelson.
or was.
Mickelson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
makes sense. Yeah.
Way over Tiger Woods.
Yeah, he seems like a
Mickelson.
great guy too.
Because you could talk all kinds of stuff with him. Sports gambling,
Yep.
Everything. He's into everything.
Yeah. He's just like
and-
a real dude.
Yeah, he is. And I tell you, I'm not a fan really of the guy, but I'm kind of finding him fascinating. The more and more it goes on, this DeChambeau guy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind getting an up close and personal look at what he does to a golf ball.
He just obliterates.
Yeah, seriously,
Monster.
it's just absolutely insane.
That's Anthony's favorite player.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
DeChambeau?
DeChambeau. You ever see him hit a ball? He's the only golfer, Mo, that could be in the meat locker.
yes, right. He's all thick. He
Yeah.
lifts weights.
He's a meat.
tough. Yeah, he is.
He's
a
not
meat.
cold cuts. He's a meat.
Oh, that's classic. But to
Yeah.
get back to the original question, what was it? Pebble Beach and who?
So around at Pebble Beach or attend an Eagles winning Super Bowl. I guess
I would
in
probably-
person.
I'd probably say the Super Bowl because I know that I can get on Pebble Beach and it'll happen. I don't know
What?
that the Eagles will
How you
get
getting
another
on Pebble,
Super-
Har?
It's easy. It's not that hard. You just got to pay. It's like $550 or whatever.
Okay.
But you can get on it. It's
What
not
about a-
private. It's a public golf course.
What about if it was Augusta, which you can't
that's
just
different.
pay to get on?
Yeah, that would then forget it. Forget the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah,
See, the Eagles already won a Super Bowl.
I know.
And I had no desire to be at that one.
Well, no, it was in Minnesota.
Exactly.
I mean, the Eagles they've been to what 3 Super Bowls. The first one was in New Orleans where they got housed by the Raiders.
Yep.
That's a place to go to see a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Then they get Jacksonville,
Yeah.
which is not a Super Bowl city, and
The
then they
armpit
go
of
to
Florida.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
And they got railroaded.
They did.
Seriously.
Yes. I mean, it was probably great in 80 in New Orleans, but
yeah.
beyond that, yeah, they didn't get like Pasadena
No.
or
San
the Orange
Diego.
Bowl,
Right.
something good.
Las Vegas now. That's in the Rota.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
you get
Super Bowl in Las
Minnesota.
Vegas. Minnesota, my
You go
God.
ice fishing.
Jeez.
Arik Macbeth said, Harry, 1986 Masters at the 18th hole or the 86 Playboy Mansion with Baldy?
86 Playboy Mansion with Baldy, and it's not even close. Okay.
The
And
Grotto?
yes, and I'll tell you why. 86 was like that's I'm big on that era
Mhm.
in as far as the magazine goes, and being at the 18th green, Jack Nicklaus won that as a 46-year-old. We all get it, but he didn't play in the final group. He was done an hour or an hour and a half before the finishers came through.
Really?
So there really wasn't all that much drama. I think Greg Norman made bogey on 18, which sealed the fact that Jack won, but it wasn't like it was Jack coming up the 18th fairway, needing to make birdie to win the tournament. It wasn't a situation like that.
Yeah.
Jack was already just hanging out, waiting, wondering if he won. And then, sure enough, Norman didn't execute and Jack won. It was like, oh my God, Jack won the Masters. But he was
Wow.
done like an hour and a half earlier. And besides, if I had been there that day, I probably would have been rooting for or betting on Seve Ballesteros or something and probably would have been upset.
Because you lost.
Right.
Now, I'll show you the 1986 Har Playmate of the Year.
Oh boy.
It is Kathy Shower. Was the
now.
Playmate of the Year.
I don't recall her.
She was in it. There's also Dynasty star Linda Evans nude.
Oh yeah, now I'd be down for that.
The Secrets of Easily Orgasmic Women, which
Yeah,
is always a home run.
of course.
Robin
That's like an
Leach.
evergreen topic. That one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was twice a year.
Right.
And then it says Robin Leach explained.
Okay, I remember him in The Lifestyles of Rich and Famous.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. The
Yeah.
Playmate of the Year, and then Kareem
Kareem.
Abdul-Jabbar being interviewed.
And what we really know about AIDS.
Jeez,
Yeah,
how about that Time Warp?
that's a buzzkill.
June 1986. Yeah, why put that on the covers?
Yeah, June of '86. I mean, I was 21 that year. That was when I turned 21.
Oh, really?
So you can imagine me and Baldy. Baldy was probably
Oh.
playing for like either
Dallas.
the Cowboys or the Colts or something then. And, you know, he was in rare form. Me as a 21-year-old. Oh,
See
I mean,
Baldy
Jesus.
hanging out in the grotto with the pinky.
Yeah, with the pinky. Yeah. You got caught in Randy White's face mask.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah.
All
Wow,
right.
that's good stuff. Good job on you pulling up that cover.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
quick acting,
Yeah.
tough acting, acting right there, Har.
That goes back to your producer days, man, when you have to be on the fly like that. I mean, just get a picture.
Yeah, I mean, if you could provide a visual, you provide it. I know it's radio.
Oh,
my God, his tweets are just nauseating me.
the old boss.
Oh my God, what is going on?
He's very
with him?
active. He's very active on Twitter.
He needs to log off.
I-
Take a break. Pandering. What is he doing?
Yeah, he used to be the Fanatic Fly. That used to be his way
That's
to get
right.
on Twitter when he was in here in Philly. He didn't sort of come into his own as his own account really when
Yeah.
he was here. But now that he's out in San Francisco, you know, all bets are off.
I mean, some of his. I know very little about football, but how does Joe Judge still have a job and not Brian Flores?
That's a good question, though. He's right on the money, right with that one.
Let me give you this one from the Hagians account. My life has come full circle. I love when he starts these. What do you think he's thinking? He goes, the first jersey I ever put on was a number 12 Roger Staubach jersey. I have no idea why, but I distinctly remember it. Then he goes, now I'm in the Bay and want the Niners to go into Dallas and boat race the Cowboys. There you go.
Jesus.
What is wrong with him?
Classic.
Like I said, the faith will travel better than any fan base in the NFL. You
And
say the same shit here.
I know. Just insert Eagles. Take out Niners and insert Eagles or Sixers.
Yeah.
Right. You imagine how many times he told Staubach that he was the very first jersey?
Yeah.
And Roger's like, oh, here comes this dude again. He's at the Super Bowl, right? Radio Row. Here's Roger.
He loves Clay Thompson too.
Oh, I know he does.
He is like he's got a man crush on
I
Clay.
know. I was just getting a phone call from Nick Cale. Does that bozo not realize that I'm on the air here?
No, he's watching it and then decided to call you, which is even dumber.
Well, does he think this is a call-in show?
Yeah. Let's go to the phones.
Yeah.
One more. And you're right. So many of these are the same. When we ask for what would Harry do, people have to tweet in their problem and you'll solve it.
Right.
It's a life problem, not just either ors. Like Corner Pub Sports said, Harry, would you rather have a weekend playing at Pebble Beach or a weekend with Katy Perry?
See, now you notice this Pebble Beach seems to be like a thing here.
Yeah.
I would.
Pebblesman.
I can't stomach Katy Perry, so I'll go Pebble Beach. You could probably find better out there anyway. Did you see her latest video last night during the halftime of the game? Nothing screams need for Katy Perry video more than a national championship football game halftime.
Yeah.
Said nobody ever. I don't know how this stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, they think they're going to pull in a different audience.
Really? Is that really what the goal is?
It's got to be, right?
Oh, I don't know.
It's only Joe. His handles now, it's Joe the Cynic. It's not Ruined Tomorrow anymore.
Oh, yeah. He changed it.
Oh, man, that was like a classic account.
I know.
He said free golf for a year or a week with Jenna, Ortiz and Jesse Jane. Now, Jenna Jameson's not doing well.
No, she's not.
She can't even walk anymore.
No.
She has Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Is that right? Is that right?
It's called, yeah. I saw this.
Is that like an autoimmune thing?
It says Jenna Jameson, unable to walk, has Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Wow.
She offered an update on her medical condition. She posted on her verified account, I'm dealing with a little syndrome called Guillain-Barré syndrome, so I'm working through that. And I just wanted to let you know, I see all your DMs and appreciate it so much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Her muscles in her legs are so weak that she's unable to walk to the bathroom.
Jesus.
Yeah,
I think that's
no
an autoimmune thing, actually.
Yeah, it's no good.
No, it's not. What was the first part of the question?
Either free golf for a year or a week with Jenna and Jesse Jane.
Yeah, well, I pre-Ortiz, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Pre-Ortiz. I love how he qualifies it.
Yeah, Tito Ortiz.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably go free golf for a year.
That's a lot of golf.
I spend a lot of money on that. So it would save me a lot of money.
Yeah, that'd save you the ducats for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Let's tell people about Parx again. Parx Sportsbook presents the Odd G's podcast, and just for opening an account, no promo required. You get a $500 risk-free bet. What are your plays again for Wild Card Weekend, Harry? You didn't like anything on Saturday.
No, I took the 49ers plus the 3 at Dallas, and that's the second game on Sunday immediately after the Eagles game, and then the night game on Sunday is the Kansas City Chiefs laying the lumber against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, so you got those 2 games for this weekend. People, if you're not on the Parx Sportsbook app, open up an account. New customers will get a $500 risk-free bet. Again, no promo required. Just deposit. If you lose, that first bet is risk-free up to $500. And make sure you follow Parx on Twitter at Parx Sportsbook, on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and you'll get great content there as well, and daily specials and all kinds of great stuff. So we love Parx Sportsbook, and we love that they're a part of this podcast as well. Is there anything else that you want to say that you didn't get out of the chamber? Any tweets? Did any tweets get go through the CBA process and protocol that you want to get out before it's over?
It wasn't a very active week on Twitter. I really wasn't feeling it. I'll start getting back into it as the playoffs approach and this weekend, I'm sure. But Crossing Broad had an interesting little poll, not so much a poll, but just odds for Jim Gardner's replacement, his successor at 6
I saw
ABC,
this. Yeah.
because his last newscast at 11 p.m. apparently is tonight.
Yes.
They got Brian Taff in there at the favorite at -175. Rick Williams, who I believe always did the noon news during the day.
I think he does the 5 now too.
Oh, he does? +125. Matt O'Donnell +975. He has been pounding it out in the morning for years. I mean, I'm talking probably 15 years. That 4:30 broadcast or whatever, paying his dues, man. And then Jillian Mealy +1,400 or an outside higher at +2,000. Where would you go?
I would go with Matt O'Donnell because he follows me on Twitter.
Too. Yeah. And he's a musician too. He's a drummer.
Oh, is he a drummer? I didn't know that.
He's in a band. Yeah, he's in a band.
Really?
His band played out. They used to have all these like during the summertime outdoor stuff in Phoenixville. This one parking lot that was right in the center of town near all the restaurants, and they'd set up a stage. And a couple times his band played out there. Yeah, I used to go see him.
Didn't he go to? Did he go to Henderson? Westchester Henderson?
I'm not sure.
I'm looking it up.
That I don't know. But I would pull from Matt O'Donnell too.
Well, maybe he can be the drummer in our band, Har. We need a drummer.
What band?
I don't know. We haven't started it yet.
What band is this?
Yeah. Oh no, he went to Bishop Shanahan High School.
Oh, okay.
Which is basically, it was in the borough of Westchester at that time. Is now out
near Downingtown.
Yeah.
Downingtown now. Yeah.
My brothers went to Bishop Shanahan.
Bishop Shanny.
Yeah.
Right.
I did not know that he went there, but yeah, he's a local. I got to go with the guy that went to the local school here.
Yeah, me too.
So absolutely, I'll go Matt O'Donnell. He
Yeah.
seems like a good guy, and he's going to be the future drummer of the Odd Cheese band.
Fantastic.
All right, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Leave us a rating and review. Make sure you subscribe as well. And we'll be back next week with another brand new episode of the Odd G's podcast. Cheers.